Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Alicia Green, the manager of Supplier Diversity, at NGLCC. I am just want to welcome you all for joining. We are still waiting on more people to join, so we're going to give them about 5 more minutes before we actually begin. As of right now, can everyone hear me? If you can, we just please in the chat write yes or I can't hear you. Okay, awesome. It seems like pretty much everyone can hear me. So again, like I stated before, we're going to give it about 5 more minutes so we can get like the majority of people on this webinar. All right. Okay, I have a couple of messages that I'm echoing. Is there still an echo? Okay, let me see what we can do. Okay, we are going to go on and get started. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning. My name is Alicia Green, and I am the Supplier Diversity Manager at NGLCC. Myself, as well as James Gleason, who is the Manager of Digital Media, will be conducting this webinar. So we would like to thank you so much for joining us today and taking. Okay. I apologize for our audio. We are actually recording it, so if you're having a hard time hearing, I apologize for that. We were trying to fix it. I don't know. Yeah, we were trying to fix it and get closer to the microphone. But again, we are recording this, so if you would like this information afterwards, following the presentation, we'll definitely send it to you. So again, thank you for joining our LGBT Biz Pitch competition webinar. Our LGBT Biz Pitch will be during our 2019 NGLCC International Business and Leadership Conference that will be held in Tampa this year. So yeah, so our NGLCC International Business and Leadership Conference will be held during August 13th through the 16th in Tampa, Florida. So we really are looking forward to seeing every one of you there and seeing you on that stage eventually or receiving your applications for Biz Pitch. As you can see, during our International Business and Leadership Conference, we also have other sessions as well as activities for you to join into whenever you are there. On the Monday before conference starts on August 12th, we start off with our conference orientation. You might know it as the LGBTBE boot camp, but we are currently looking to rename it so it can seem a little bit more enticing and comforting for those of you that don't know what to expect for our conference. So our pre-conference, our conference orientation is where we have 2 sessions that some of our BEs as well as corporate partners present to you and let you know what to expect during our conference. So it can get a little overwhelming because we do have our plenary sessions along with other sessions that you can attend at the same time. So we want you to attend this if you are a first-time attendee at our conference, to attend this so you can kind of get the flow of how the conference is, as well as meet other first-time attendees. So you won't think that you're by yourself, you're meeting other new people that you can also network with and grow a relationship with. Next is our walk and talks. We do have our walk and talks in the mornings. It starts around 6 o'clock in the morning. And we're going to actually have it at that time this year because Tampa does get a little bit hot. So we want everybody to stay cool. So one thing great about our walk and talks is that you do not have to pre-register for this. This is a first come type of first serve type of thing. So you will come in and you will sign your name up underneath one of the corporate partners that will be attending, underneath that sheet, underneath their name, and then you will meet with them and be able to walk and do like a 15-minute pitch to them about your business. This is more informal. Some people walk around and you can see the person have a coffee or they have breakfast together, might walk to a coffee shop and order breakfast together. So it's more informal and more relaxed setting, as well as you're getting a good exercise to start your day. So we would like for you to also look into our Market Expo. Our Market Expo tends to be the same time during our matchmakers. And what this is that whenever you have a break during your matchmaking session, if you don't currently have a time set, you will be able to walk around our Market Expo where our corporate partners will have booths that you can come to where you can meet them and also do a pitch to them, as well as other BEs would like to have a booth. You can have a booth there as well. And if you want any information regarding how to get a booth at the Market Expo, you can email me or email Supplier Diversity, and we can connect you with our events and experience team, and they can elaborate more on that. So last but not least, before we get to our big biz pitch, is our matchmaking sessions. This is more of a formal meeting with the corporate partner, 15-minute one-on-one meeting with the corporate partner, or with a BE. So we have two sessions. We have one where you can have your matchmaker with other suppliers. So you can talk about tiered contracting, tier 1 and tier 2 contracting, as well as grow a relationship with them. And then we also have our matchmakers where you are with the corporate partner. And that's a 15-minute one-on-one talk, more formal. People tend to dress more business and present themselves in a business formal way. And that is the first step in gaining that relationship with the corporate partner of your choice or who we match you up with. And so not only do we have these lovely sessions and lovely events for you to attend, but the whole purpose why you are on this webinar is to learn more about Biz Pitch. So I'm about to change it over to James, and James will we're about to go over some important conference dates. Exactly. So as you all know, our conference registration was open on February 7th. So you are still able to register for our early bird. Our Biz Pitch applications were opened, as well as if you are interested in doing a session at conference, those applications are open as well for you to propose a session for our conference. In March, later this month, please look out for mentorship applications. We will be sending you more information. We have a meeting next week, so I'll be sending out more information regarding when to apply for our mentorship program. That also starts during our conference. On April 5th, we have our Biz Pitch application closes, as well as if you are interested in a session that closes as well. So, but you will still have about a couple more days, about 2 weeks, to register as an early bird. So the date that the early bird registration closes is April 27th. So going to May and early June, our matchmaker applications are going to open. So these are just dates for you to look out for. If you haven't received an email, just email us, let us know, hey, have y'all sent this out yet? We'll be more than happy to respond and let you know if we are still working on it or when the actual date is. And last but not least is our actual International Business and Leadership Conference that's going to be held again in Tampa Bay, Florida from August 13th through the 16th. So these are just some conference dates for you to remember. So now, with that being said, I am now going to turn it over to James for you to learn more about the Biz Pitch competition.
Hi everybody, I'm very excited to be here with you and talk a little bit about our LGBT Biz Pitch competition. Thank you, Alicia, for going over all those important dates. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact Alicia or I after this seminar. We will be sending you this slide deck as well as a recording of this. So you should have lots of information to go over, but if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to either one of us or Supplier Diversity in general, and we'll point you in the right direction. So the LGBT Biz Pitch competition is NGLCC's version of Shark Tank. It is an entrepreneurial pitch competition that has a couple different stages and culminates in a main stage presentation at the NGLCC conference. This is our 9th year, I believe, of hosting the LGBT Biz Pitch competition, and we've seen a lot of great feedback and a lot of great results from the businesses who participate. I would say that a lot of the businesses who make it into our sort of top tier and present on the main stage end up getting some sort of benefit, whether that's a contract, whether that's an investment, whether that's a new connection. It's very rare for our presenters to walk away without some sort of benefit to their business. So a quick note on who can apply. If you are in this webinar, you are most likely a certified LGBTBE, so you are eligible to apply. Congratulations. It also extends to people who are eligible and intend to receive certification. So if you have a colleague who is interested in becoming an LGBTBE and is eligible, this might be something you can say, hey, feel free to apply to this competition, see if it feels right to you, and then if it works out, reach out to the Supplier Diversity team to get your certification before the competition takes place. We want to make sure this is open to anyone who is an LGBT-owned business. They don't necessarily have to be an LGBTBE, but we do require that they are, 1, LGBT-owned, and 2, eligible to actually receive that certification should they make it through the competition.
Definitely. And just to piggyback off of that, if we know of someone that wants to apply that has not yet received their certification, we will definitely move that application up to make sure that they are certified before this competition.
Yes. So the first round of the competition is what we call our semi-finalist selection process, and that is sort of our initial round of candidates. So if you haven't seen already, we've been promoting our LGBT Biz Pitch application form, which you can access when we send out this presentation afterwards, or if you go to our website, nglcc.org/LGBTBizPitch, you can also access this application. And it's got a couple basic questions as well as a 1-page written pitch and a 60-second video pitch. And this will be our initial round where we sort of filter through our applicants, score our applicants based on a set of criteria, which I've listed below, and decide who will make it through to our semi-finalist round. So a quick look at some of our different criteria that we look at. We're looking at a pitch that grabs our attention. We're looking for something that is clearly presented, something that is well fleshed out, something that clearly explains the need that their product or service will fill, and something that is clearly shows the benefit and competitive advantage of the pitch. Those are sort of the initial things we look for in a first round, and we score the applications literally according to these criteria that I listed here. The panel is made up of all NGLCC staff. We're all pretty intimately familiar with your LGBTBEs as well as LGBT-owned businesses as a whole. So different members of our staff will sit on this panel and sort of see your application all the way through from its initial application all the way to the main stage. Just as a benchmark, about half of our applicants make it through this round. In the past, I believe we had I think last year was 40 to 50 applicants, and we ended up putting, I think, 20-something through to the semi-finalist round. So it's definitely, I would say, just sort of a general culling of our applicants and sort of really grabbing out the ones we think have potential to go all the way. It goes on to our finalist selection process, which is a social media voting campaign. This takes place on your own social media accounts, whether those are personal accounts or your business's accounts, and we put together a little voting ballot with each of the videos that you submit with your initial pitch, and allow sort of the public to vote on which pitches that they think are most interesting. We will promote the ballot on our social media accounts. Usually it gets seen by some of our corporate partners, some of our other BEs who may not have applied, and they vote as well. But it's really on the applicants to share this with their networks and secure those votes. And again, I put literally the criteria we use to evaluate your social media outreach right there in bullet points. We look at the number of votes accumulated. We look at the votes accumulated relative to your estimated social media following. And we look at any sort of innovative things that you've been doing to get the word out. If you think you're doing something cool on social media in order to promote your application, tag us. We'd love to see it, and it definitely gets considered in the finalist selection process. In the past, we've selected 3 to 4. Last year was 3 finalists that made it to the main stage. In past years, if we do think that there is an especially strong group of applicants, we will add an additional 4th finalist. It really depends on the people applying and how this social media voting goes. So as we're leading up to the competition, we do sort of look at these different factors for our finalists. Like Alicia said, we will check if you are certified, and if you're not, we will make sure to work with you to get certified. We will make sure that you are actually registered for the conference. It's a real bummer if you make it all the way to the finalist round and you're not registered and therefore can't present. So we do check after we select our finalists to make sure that you are registered. Finalists we try and notify in early June. I believe we stuck very strictly to that timeline last year. And we work with you at this point to make sure that you feel comfortable and ready for your main stage presentation. At this point, I would say the competition definitely shifts from less of NGLCC working as an evaluator and more as a collaborator to make sure that you and your application are as strong as possible for that main stage presentation, because we want you to put your best foot forward, especially in front of all the corporate partners, all the potential investors, all the other LGBTBEs that will be watching your main stage presentation. Finalists will also be paired with a corporate mentor over the summer. We've had some really great corporate mentors in the past, American Airlines, Apple, some really big companies that have stepped up in order to mentor one of our finalists. And it's a really great way to forge a relationship with one of these big Fortune 500 companies, potentially get some business out of it, although that's not the real goal of that relationship. But really bond with this mentor and get some advice on your business as a growing business and somebody who sources from businesses. These mentors have a lot to offer. So we definitely encourage people to connect with their mentors should they make it to the finalist round. And then just generally helping you all prepare for your main stage presentation. At this point, like I said, we will be a resource, your mentors will be a resource. You will have a lot of people willing to step up and help you sort of prepare that main stage presentation. So the live presentation, and I'd say this is probably the most visible part of the LGBT Biz Pitch process. We have a pretty strict 5-minute pitch process followed by a 5-minute Q&A. If you have been to our conference before and you have seen this happen live on stage, you know that our president Justin loves that 5-minute deadline. He loves to ring the gong and clang the bell and do whatever it is to cut you off. He loves that drama. So it is a strict time limit. And again, this is sort of one of the reasons that we work with you to make sure that your pitch is as strong as possible and you get everything done in 5 minutes. You will have the opportunity to include a video or a PowerPoint or some sort of visual aid with your pitch. It's not just you on the stage by yourself. You can have some audio-visual elements. You can have whatever it is that will help you secure your pitch. And we also will ask you to submit a short video sort of as a primer for your pitch that will play during the luncheon ahead of the competition. So this just gets the audience ready, it gets them familiar with you, and sort of helps you take them on a journey outside of your pitch.
And excited.
Yes, yeah, it gets people excited for sure. I would say the finalist round is a big deal. I think we get a lot of people who make it to the finalist round and they're potentially disappointed that they don't, win the competition and win that big prize of $50K in cash and prizes. But like I said earlier, the finalist round is a huge deal, especially for us here at NGLCC. We see a lot of great business opportunities come out of this competition, and just getting on that main stage is a huge accomplishment. I think we have over 1,300 attendees, and they all will be exposed to your business on a platform that is pretty much incomparable for the rest of the conference. So some tips for success. I know that's sort of why you all are here, to get the inside scoop. I would encourage you to go back and look at those criteria that I mentioned in the finalist and semi-finalist rounds. Those are literally the criteria that our panels will be scoring you on. So as you look at those and are thinking about your pitch, think about those criteria. I also wrote down some other quick tips for success and some other factors that we look at more generally. One is the viability. So is your product ready for the market? If it's not, have you laid out a plan for how to get there? We're really looking at something that looks like the full package. Scalability, we want to make sure that your company is able to grow. We've seen a lot of great ideas sort of flounder in this stage because it works on a very local level, but doesn't necessarily work on a large scale level that, say an investment of say $50,000 wouldn't help you get there. So make sure you're saying, why your business will be able to scale and how you plan on doing that. And that ties right into a strong marketing plan. It helps so much if you have a plan for this $50,000 in cash and prizes, and coming in and making sure that the panel understands that plan and the people on the main stage understand that plan is critical for your success. And then the points of difference. We've seen a lot of companies come in with really strong applications, but they don't differentiate themselves. And we deal with a lot of businesses, especially in saturated markets, that are difficult to sort of make yourself stand out. And that's always a challenge in business. And I think that's particularly a challenge when you have to condense your entire business idea to one page or a 60-second video clip. So make sure you're really hammering home those points of difference. And then some little other tidbits. Less is more. When in doubt, cut it out. We love, on a personal level, we love hearing your story of, how you struck out on your own and how you, left your job and how you're doing all these incredible things in your community. But when we have 60 seconds to hear from you, that's not what's going to get your pitch to the top of the pile. So make sure you're really hammering down what it is that your business is doing, what it's going to do, and how this competition is going to help shape your business. And on the same vein, show, don't tell. Especially in the video portion, the video pitches, make sure that it's dynamic content. And that is different from business to business. We've seen really great applications that, are a full multimedia experience. There's audio, there's visual, there's graphics. But we've also seen really dynamic presenters who are literally sitting in front of their computer with a webcam and are able to weave a story in a way that gets us invested and gets us believing for them and rooting for them in this competition. So be sure that whatever it is that's your approach, make sure it's a strong visual story and a strong story in your written document as well. And then finally, tell the judges and the judging panel what we need to know. It's great to get cute and creative. A lot of people use that as a way to hammer in the points of difference, and I think that there's a place for that. But at the end of the day, if you're not getting those big things, what your business is doing, what problems are you solving, how your business is going to grow, the rest of it is all just kind of fluff and won't get you through the subsequent rounds. So those are just sort of high level, some great tips for success. A lot of you were kind enough to submit some questions ahead of time, so I'm going to go over those now. And I'd love for you to be thinking about any questions that you have and typing them into the chat box, and Alicia's going to help me go through those. Feel free to shout out with any questions. We can answer them right here on the line. I bet if you have a question, somebody else on this chat probably has a question as well. But while you all write out your questions, I'm going to be answering the ones on the screen right now. So can any type or stage of business complete? The answer is yes. We've seen businesses that are still in the idea stage, not a single actual created product, to businesses that have been in the market for years. And all of them, I think, are equally valid as long as they really, present a coherent pitch and tap into those factors that we mentioned earlier. If a small business has a strong plan for success and a true path to scalability, we are more than happy to put them on the main stage, and we have in past years. If a big business has something, a new project that 50K in cash and prizes can really help make or break, then yeah, we're happy to put them on the main stage as well. I think it all comes down to how you tell that story in your pitch. Who should the audience for your pitch be? I would say for your initial application, you know who your audience is going to be. It's going to be, for the most part, me, Alicia, some of the other supplier diversity team, people who are familiar with your business, probably, but also people who are very familiar with what our LGBT businesses have to offer in general. So make sure you're crafting sort of a general pitch that hits on those factors. Make sure that even if we've heard from you in the past, even if we know who you are on a personal level, you're putting your best foot forward. I would say if you are to make it to the finalist stage, you may want to consider putting in a little bit more financial information, a little bit more information that might be interesting to investors. We are very interested in the success of your business, but ultimately, we are not going to be the people investing in your business. So if you can put a little bit extra when you're on that main stage to sort of reel in a couple investors, you're doing yourself a big favor. Because there are a lot of people in the audience who are looking to invest, who are looking to do business with you, and presenting that information off the top is a great idea. Any tips for non-US certified suppliers? This is actually the first year that we have extended this application to suppliers outside of the US. I would say one of the biggest things is making sure that your pitch is contextualized for the judging panel. It is important that each local market is completely different, and we are well versed in LGBT business as a whole, but we don't understand LGBT businesses all over the world. Often a market in one country is very different from the next. So if that's relevant to your pitch, make sure you put that in there. Don't assume that we know everything about every region, because we have some great businesses from parts of countries that I am not familiar with, and I'm sure Alicia feels the same. But we want to be able to support you, and we want to be able to understand that. And also, of course, if English is not your first language, it's very important that your pitch, both the video pitch and the written pitch, are written in conversational English. That's something that we will screen for, especially if we are to put you on the main stage as a finalist. We love how many bilingual business owners we have. It's been a great strength of ours in terms of diversity. But we want to make sure that because the main stage presentation will be in English, that our businesses are fully prepared to present in English. So please make sure that if English is not your first language, you are checking and double checking to make sure that it comes off conversationally and frankly. Do you have to have a product to pitch? And the answer is a strong no. Products, services, project ideas are all fine as long as the pitch is engaging and viable. We've had people pitch staffing services. We've had people pitch even events. There's a lot of different things that we've seen people pitch. It does not have to be a physical product. I know that's a rule for Shark Tank. That is not a rule for the LGBT Biz Pitch competition. Does the competition judge the service or product, the financial viability of the business, or both? I'd say both. We look at you as a complete package. There's a lot that goes into a successful business, and a great product with a poor business model is not going to get you very far, and a poor product with a great business model is not going to get you very far. We look at the full picture. Again, I would ask people to reference the criteria I listed out previously, as well as the tips that I listed out when you're thinking about crafting the perfect pitch.
Definitely.
So questions.
So we have about 5 minutes for questions. Again, if you have one, I will unmute you all if you have some questions. If you don't have any questions, then feel free to email us afterwards, and we will respond regarding any questions or concerns you might have.
And before we switch off, I want to just remind everyone that you can find the application on NGLCC.org/LGBT Biz Pitch. And if you're having trouble with that, contact Alicia or I. We're happy to send that link to you and make sure you get your application in by April 7th, I believe.
So is it just Biz Pitch?
LGBT Biz Pitch.
Okay, I'll send it to you in our chat. Okay. All right, so I'm about to unmute, and if y'all have any questions.
I guess I have a question. I posted it in the chat room, but I was just kind of curious. What about products that are in patent discussion? So that'll happen simultaneous to submission. So that process I'm not familiar with, so I'm just not good with now. But it does correspond to the timeline of the submission. Has that ever come to question, or should I just wait a year before I
Shane?
Hey, Alicia.
I'm sorry. Hi. Yeah, okay, I can understand the echo now.
Oh, is that giving you an echo? I can't hear it, so.
It might be easier for folks to type their questions, just so we can hear them clearly.
Right.
We're getting a little interference.
All right, so while we're waiting, again, thank you. Okay, so the question that Shane had was, what about products in patent discussion? And it is happening simultaneously to submission. Good question. I mean, we did have somebody that was actually on the main stage, I believe. It was like a drone. Remember?
Yeah, I think.
First.
Yeah.
And they do ask about if it's already patented or not. So if it is patented, that is a plus.
Yeah, I would say if you're in the middle of securing a patent and you're concerned about that for whatever reason, feel free to shoot us a message offline. I think we want to know a little more details before giving you advice one way or another.
Correct. Okay, are there any? You're welcome. Are there any other questions? Again, if you have some, just be sure to email us, and we will actually probably add them onto the slides so that everybody can still know any of the questions that might have been asked after the presentation. But again, I guess this comes to the conclusion of our presentation.
Yep.
So we would like to thank you all for attending, and we look forward to seeing each and every one of you at our 2019 NGLCC International and Business Leadership Conference, August 13th through the 16th in Tampa. So see you there, and y'all have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone.